Welcome back to the show, you guys.
Thanks for coming back.
All right, so let's get this Pac-12 conference out the way, and our first team is going to be Washington. I got their ceiling at 9-3 and their floor at 7-5. I got their strengths at quarterback, Jake Browning. I think he's a really solid quarterback, and he has been, in my eyes, is getting better and better. So I think he's going to have a really good season. And my weakness is going to be at linebacker. I think they're going to struggle at linebacker. But yeah, man, I got them at 9-3 as their ceiling and 75.
Alrighty, I got them a little more than that. My ceiling is 10-2. 9-3 is my floor. My strengths is running back, Miles Gaskin.
Yeah,
He's been there for 10 years, it feels like. But he's a really good player. Coaching, I think he's one of the best coaches in the college. And their secondary, really good.
Right.
And their weaknesses is wide out and defensive line. And the games to look out for me is Auburn, Stanford, and Oregon, and Cal.
All right, so next team is Stanford. And I got their ceiling at 8-4, and I got their floor at 6-6. As you can tell, I think they can either go be a pretty solid team, or I think they could just be really whack. But yeah, man, I got one of their strengths at running back. Bryce Love, of course, that man was a monster. He even got hurt and played in a big playoff game and still balled out with an injury. That man's impressive. And my weaknesses are at wide receiver. They got a lot of young talent at wide receiver. So, yeah, man, 8-4 and 6-6.
All right, we're both correct on the same page at the ceiling. 8-4, and the floor for me is 7-5 for Stanford. Pluses is running back, offensive line, and linebackers. My weakness is going to be wide out and defensive line. And my games to look out for is most of their schedule. They have a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, they do. All right, now we're moving on to Oregon. Them Ducks.
Yeah.
I got their ceiling at 7-5 and their floor at 6-6. Yeah, I don't have them having a good season, but more and more I'm hearing about these players. They might actually have a good season, and who knows, man. But I got one of their strengths at linebacker. I think one of their young talent's going to be a beast. And then I got their weakness, which is kind of weird saying for Oregon, but they're running backs, which is because they know how to produce running backs. But not this year, man. I think they're going to struggle at running back, and yeah.
Alrighty, my ceiling is a lot different from his. 10-2, I think they have a really good year, and my floor for them is 9-3. My strengths is quarterback, wide out, and defensive coaching. Weakness is maybe secondary and quarterback health. If he can stay healthy, they're going to have a really good year in my eyes. But if he gets hurt, Justin Herbert, that's what I say.
Yeah.
Herbert. Justin Herbert gets hurt, they're going to have a rough season because that's what happened last year. They were really good when he was playing, but when he got hurt, they were pretty whack.
Right.
So really depends on how he plays and how healthy he can stay. My games is Cal, Washington, Stanford.
And yeah, now that I'm looking at their schedule, they got a pretty good schedule, so they could easily go way higher than my 7-5. So yeah. All right,
and they
now
don't have to play SC in their schedule.
Right. All right, now we're moving on to them Cal Bears, Golden Bears. I got them having a good season. I got their ceiling at 10-2, and their floor at 8-4. I think they're going to have a really solid season. I think they had an okay season last year. They didn't do too well, 5-7. Yeah, not too well, but I think they're going to have a bounce back season. I think definitely one of their strengths is wide receiver, and I think one of the weaknesses is that running back. But yeah, man, I think they're going to have a good season.
My ceiling is 10-2 as well, and my floor is 9-3. My strengths is offensive line and defensive backs, and my weakness is defensive line. And games to look out for is SC, Stanford, Washington. And SC is going to be the next team we talk about.
Yes, sir. Where are they?
Right there.
There. All right. So, man, I got them having a good season, too. I got them actually possibly going 12-0 as a ceiling, and my floor is 10-2. I think one of their strengths is pretty much the entire defense. I didn't really see a flaw in any of the defense, so I just put whole defense really. And I think their weakness is going to be at quarterback. Of course, they're missing that man. I think they're going to struggle at quarterback, and I have a feeling they're going to be throwing a lot of picks this year. But I think they're still going to. I think that defense is going to carry them, because I think that defense is going to get a lot of turnovers themselves. So.
Alrighty, my ceiling is 11-1, and my fourth floor for them is 9-3. Kind of like him, my strength is their whole defense, running back, and wide out. Ahmad Brown is going to be a monster. He already is playing really well in their spring type practices and whatever. They don't have a spring game, but whatever their spring practices things have been a monster. And kind of like what he said, my weakness is quarterback inexperience. They're starting a freshman quarterback, so I think he might be their downfall if they do struggle at this year.
All right.
And games to look out for is Texas, Arizona, Cal, Stanford, and my trap game is Washington State.
All right, and the next team we talk about is them Arizona. I got their ceiling at 9-3, and I got their floor at 7-5. One of their strengths I got them at is linebacker. I think they're really solid at linebacker. And their downfall, I think, is going to be their offensive line. I think they're going to stink there. They got a lot of sophomores, sophomores, yeah. They got a left guard and a right guard that's a sophomore. So I think they're going to struggle there. But 9-3, man, I think they're going to have a really good season compared to last year. They were only 7-6 last year. So, yeah, man.
Alrighty, my ceiling for them is 8-4, and my floor for them is 7-5. My pluses is their quarterback, their wide receiver, wideouts, and their defensive backs. And my weakness is going to be defensive line and linebackers. And my games to look out for is SC, Oregon, Utah, and Cal. That pretty much wraps up our podcast, our show, and that's all of our previews. Thank you for watching, and this is the pick. Looking forward to watching some college football.
Oh, yeah. We'll see you on the next one. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below.
Thank you.